Let's talk through some shallow league waiver wire ads up next on Fantasy Baseball Today Express. Welcome into FBT Express on Tuesday, September 9th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White. And let's take a look at mostly waiver wire hitters today, but Royce Lewis, a big game here on Monday, 2 for 5 with a double dong, 4 RBI. Last 20 games, he's hitting 273 with 7 homers, 6 steals, and OPS around 850. And we've seen flashes of brilliance from Royce Lewis in the past. He's 71% rostered again, maybe some 10-team leagues or some shallow 12-team leagues. But Scott, how do you feel about Royce Lewis potentially ending the season on a high note?
Yeah, maybe he could. It is a little bit of arbitrary endpoints we're working with here in that 20-game sample to get him up to 7 homers. Because if you make it a 14-game sample, suddenly it doesn't look nearly as good. But yeah, he has some ability. He's better than he's shown most of this season. He plays a position third base where a lot of teams have a need. I don't love the Twins matchups for the final 2 weeks of the season. We just started the third to last week of the season. We got 2 more. I don't love them moving forward. So if you don't have a need at third base, like you're just looking for a hitter, a utility player or whatever, I don't know that Royce Lewis would be my first choice, but he's at least showing signs of life, and he had to eventually.
All right, I have some shallow league outfielders here as well. TJ Friedl, 2 for 5 with a home run and a steal here on Monday. He has looked better in September so far. Jung-Hoo Lee, 3 for 4 with his 8th homer, hitting 315 in the second half. Kind of empty stats, though. Dylan Cruz, 3 for 5 with his 8th homer, 4 RBI. Maybe a sign that he's, going to finish strong. And then Austin Hayes, 2 for 4 with his 15th home run. And over the past couple of weeks, he has really, really turned things back on. Scott, how would you rank those 4? Hayes, Dylan Cruz, Jung-Hoo Lee, and TJ Friedl.
I gotta say, Hayes at the top of the list. I mean, he's been pretty great all season long for fantasy. There was kind of a rough patch to begin the second half, but he's picked it up again, and he's the most available of these players, I believe, right?
Yeah, just 41% roster.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't think the Reds matchup for the final 2 weeks are amazing, but they're not so bad. So he would be at the top of the list. In points leagues, I'd probably go with Jung-Hoo Lee second, but it is such a hollow batting average that I'm not sure he registers in categories league. So I might give the edge to Dylan Cruz over him. Obviously, it's just one huge game for Dylan Cruz. And so, if he goes hitless in his next 4, well, suddenly he's not looking that interesting anymore. But if this is the start of something, if he closes out this week well, then I do like the Nationals matchups for the final 2 weeks of the season for their hitters specifically. And I think, we have Dylan Cruz has a lot of upside, that latent upside that maybe he's going to tap into here to close out this season with the favorable matchups.
Austin Hayes, by the way, his last 23 games, hitting 306 with 5 homers, 20 RBI, 2 steals, 91.7 average exit velocity. So definitely making some noise and looking like he's going to finish strong once again here. That is Austin Hayes. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
I wasn't ready to die.
The wait is over.
I need to know what happened.
Discover the mystery everyone's been talking about. School Spirits, every episode of all seasons now streaming on Paramount+.
Welcome back in FBT Express. Scott, I have 2 of your sleeper hitters for this week that are off to a good start already. Luis Garcia Jr. went 2 for 4 with 2 walks and his 13th home run. He's looked much better as of late. And Kyle Manzardo, 3 for 4 with a double, 2 RBI, has a 281 batting average, 903 OPS here in the second half. They're both below 70% rostered. Do you think that number should be higher for either, both? Should they be more like universally rostered players for the final couple weeks?
Well, because of the timing of this question, I'm going to say no. They're probably as rostered as they need to be. I think Kyle Manzardo is better than 51%, which is where he's at. But the Guardians matchups for the final 2 weeks are among the worst as far as hitters go. So I can't see myself recommending him as a hitter to stream in the half of CBS Sports leagues where he'd be available. So even though, yes, he deserves to be ranked higher in a general sense, I think the specifics here make that not the case. Luis Garcia is a little more rostered, 2/3 of CBS Sports leagues. And I do like the Nationals matchups for hitters down the stretch. I pointed it out with Dylan Cruz a second ago, but you do have to play the matchups more with Cruz. He sits against left-handers, and on occasion when he starts against them, doesn't do very well. So you really want a lot of righties on the schedule for Luis Garcia to be useful. And it's harder to say for sure if that's going to be true for him the final 2 weeks.
I have a name in deeper leagues here, Scott. You've referenced that the Nationals have really good matchups the rest of the way. Here on Monday, Josh Bell, 4 for 6 with 2 homers and 6 RBI. Can you maybe see Josh Bell making an impact here? Only in deeper leagues where you need a corner or whatever it might be.
I could see it in deeper leagues, and he's widely available. About 80% of CBS leagues, you could pick up Josh Bell. With this big performance, 4 for 6 with 2 home runs on Monday, his second half slash line is now 260, 364, 473. Sounds pretty good. 8 home runs in the second half. It looks a lot better just based on this one big game. It was still an okay slash line for the second half prior to it, but it's gone from okay to good with just this one game for Josh Bell. So I don't want to go overboard recommending him, even with the Nationals having favorable hitting matchups the final 2 weeks. But if you're in one of the deeper 30 to 40% of CBS Sports leagues, he might actually be available in those and be worth a look in that case.
We did get confirmation that Daniel Palencia is going on the IL with a right shoulder strain, and sounds like Brad Keller will take over as the Cubs closer. He's only 18% rostered. Scott, I think if you need saves, Brad Keller has pitched really well this year for what should be a good team with the Chicago Cubs. I think he is one of the most obvious replacements, or just a must-add player if you need saves at this point in the season.
Yeah. I mean, for a playoff-bound team, and if there really are no competitors there, if it truly is not going to be a committee situation, it's just going to be Brad Keller handling the role. I would be surprised if there was a better saves option than that to emerge rest of season. So this might be your last shot at maybe getting, I mean, from today on, theoretically, maybe he could give you half a dozen saves. That would obviously require a lot to go right, but that's your best shot at it from this point forward, I would say.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today Express, and we will be back again on Thursday. Bye-bye.